What's good, YouTube? That192 here, back again, once again. And say, people, today we are here for another WWE pay-per-view review. 2 in 1 week. Hot damn. Call the police and the fireman. We are here to review NXT Takeover London and all of its 5-match hypeness. And of course, we are joined by the pinnacle of wrestling opinions on the internet, Mr. PK Sparks, the hotness.
Those P's were pretty powerful that you were popping there, Nappy. Yo! What's up, guys? PK Sparks here. And, we were treated. Once again, NXT outshined it. I don't get it.
We're also joined by the hottest opinions on the internet, the Heated Mo.
That's trademarked. I'm trademarking that. I have the hottest opinions in the wrestling community, so fuck you, Smarks.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna start a war.
Who's Smarks?
I don't know. It's like a term they use for like wrestlers that are really like they're like the geeks of like the wrestling community, I guess.
You know, everybody who gets head on the backstage scoops, they know who, like, why someone's leaving, why an injury occurs, yada yada yada. They're known as Smarks to the wrestlers. Smart marks.
I guess I learned something new today.
Yeah.
I'm just an opinionated dickhead. What do they call that?
An opinionated dickhead.
Yeah!
They call him Nappy.
Woo! Anyways, if you guys are watching, if you're a proud member of the Nappy Nation and you're hyped for another review, make sure you smash the like button down below for us. But, diving right into this, I just want to point out that it's been known for some time that former women's champion Lita has had involvement in NXT and training some of the newer divas. But I just want to say, it was dope as hell seeing her on camera today on the pre-show. I'm glad to see Lita back in WWE, back on camera, and not as Edge's side hoe. Just want to throw that out there. I don't know about you guys, but I enjoyed seeing Lita with her commentary.
But they were actually a thing. But yeah, that was nice. I also like the fact that she was talking about how she's been in the ring with men and women, and she said, I've been in the ring with men, I've been in the ring with China, and I'm like, wait, why do you mention China with, like, specifically China out of all of them? I don't know, I just found that awkward, like,
Well, they didn't have a pre-show for the for NXT Takeover. The pre-show was them talking about all the different rivals that are gonna go down, and I'm just waiting for the day when Renee Young ends up on commentary. But
wait, what? I like Renee Young.
I do too.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, is that a bad thing? Because she's like dating the best wrestler ever.
Who's she dating?
Dean Ambrose.
Oh, the new IC champion?
If you guys want to talk about that, go check out our TLC 2015 review. Link is in the description. It's involved in the playlist. You can go and check it out there. Anyways, moving on to the actual show. The first match of the night is Asuka versus Emma. The Emma-lution is here. The Emma-lution is here, you guys. It's taking over. Do you feel it in your bones?
Yeah.
I kind of like, I was more of like, oh, cool. I'm gonna see this in a couple years. Not really.
Damn, that's messed up, bro.
That is kind of messed up. I just want to say, I enjoyed Asuka versus Dana Brooke at the last Takeover. I know we didn't have a review for that, but I enjoyed it at the last Takeover better than Asuka versus Emma. I just don't like Emma.
I mean, I don't know. I'm indifferent to her. I like seeing her. I feel like she plays her role well, but I can just see her being a foil for other people. Like
she was a face for a little while, and then she just turned into cunt Emma. I don't know why. And ever since then, well, I don't even know about her face run or whatever the hell. But just her little thing right now, it's just kind of lame. Like, she doesn't fit that role, and it doesn't, like, I'm just sitting there. It's like she's just boring. I don't really like Emma in general in comparison to like Asuka, who just showed up and like it's like, oh my god, okay, this is way better than Emma. So
it sucks that you have that feeling, because I feel like Emma, she has character. We know who she is. It just doesn't resonate.
She's Australian.
I mean, I don't know. I like Emma, like especially when she first debuted. I thought like she had a little bit of potential. Then she got dropped back down to NXT, and I like this whole new evil one of her. I said this during her entrance that her song is definitely captures that good girl quote unquote gone bad or whatever. Like because it still has that old poppy thing.
I wanna shoot whoever made that intro. Stop! It's such an annoying intro.
It's so
I hate that.
It's
oh
not
my
bad.
god.
The beginning is awesome.
Oh my god. That shit will give me nightmares.
And then it drops in.
I hate it so much. Ugh.
I like Dana Brooke better. I want Dana Brooke to get a push in NXT. I think she is actually decent. I like Dana Brooke. Emma, I don't really give a shit about. Asuka, I didn't give a shit about until she cut that promo later against Nia Jax, and I realized, oh my god, Nia Jax.
Oh, that wasn't even a promo. She just stood there and just smiled. I'm like, yo,
that would be dope as fuck. And let me amend my statement. It's not that I don't give a shit about Asuka. It's just me personally. I haven't seen enough about her. I know she has history. She's huge in Japan and whatnot. She's just in NXT. That's what I'm speaking about. She hasn't done a whole lot. She fought Dana Brooke, and now she's fighting Emma, and she absolutely destroyed Emma. Like my god, that hip toss, that hip attack off the apron, and that's another thing I want to talk about. How come when Naomi does the hip attack, everyone gets on her about it, but then when Asuka does it, it's the shit?
Because Naomi has a booty and Asuka is a little tiny Asian lady.
I thought it was just because it's Monday Night Raw versus NXT.
I think that's what it is. I don't know. I like Asuka. I'm excited to see where it goes from here, especially if Nia Jax is involved. I think that's gonna be so hype. Asuka versus Nia Jax. I don't know why. I love it. I love the idea. But
it should happen for the women's belt.
No, not necessarily. Because this is like what we were talking about in the TLC review, PK. Like with the New Day. I think Asuka versus Nia Jax is hype enough to happen on its own without the women's belt to be a good match.
I don't know. I'll be excited to see either way. I would have just liked it more if it was the belt. I'll say that.
Well, we'll talk about the belt here in a little bit because there's a lot of different things that I want to talk about because I've spoken to a few different people today in regards to that matchup. But me personally, it was a decent little opening match. I didn't think it was all that, to be honest. The spots that they did have here and there were decent. I don't know. The review of this match really doesn't have much to it. I enjoyed Asuka versus Dana Brooke more, but how would you rate the match out of 5?
I'm gonna give it a 4. I actually really enjoyed it, even though Emma didn't do much. I think it was supposed to be that purpose of Asuka just biting her. Emma did look good though, not taking anything away from her. She definitely helped put up a fight
out at the end.
She did. She got destroyed at the end. But I mean, I feel like I was really invested in the match, so I'm gonna give it a 4.
I'm gonna give it. See, the only thing is like I like to rate my matches with like crowd pop overall as well, like the excitement overall over the match, storyline, and all that. So I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 overall. Like good spots, crowd loved it, all of that. So I think 4 out of 5 is a decent rating for that match.
I'm an asshole. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5.
What? Why?
Wow. Like I said, I enjoyed Asuka versus Dana Brooke more. I'm not a huge Emma fan. And I don't know. I'm ready to be done with Dana Brooke and Emma versus Asuka. Like we get it. Asuka's here, and I want to see more from Asuka. Like I said, I'm just talking about in NXT. I want to see more from Asuka, and the match just served its purpose. It was just the opening match on the card. I don't know.
It's a good ass opening match.
I wasn't blown away. It was a good match. I'll give you that, but I wasn't blown away. I give it a 2 out of 5.
Damn.
What? Why am I the bad guy here?
You're an opinionated dickhead. That's what you are. You have the hottest of opinions, and then you have the pinnacle of opinions, and then you have the opinionated dickhead.
I'm the king of opinions. God damn it. Anyways, moving on down the card. Up next, we have the NXT Tag Team Championships. On the line, Dash and Dawson defending against SAWFT. Soft. And you want to talk about a crowd pop. NXT Brooklyn and NXT London, the crowd, it was like a unanimous thing across the arena when Soft came out and they did that intro.
That was amazing.
It was
like, that was legit.
Literally not a single person in that arena that wasn't saying Soft's intro along with them. And then when Dash and Dawson came out, the entire arena booed them.
They did.
Literally, they booed the shit out of Dash and Dawson. And honestly, I don't understand why Dash and Dawson are giving such a push. I don't get it.
Maybe
like, I can understand if you want to try and build new characters, I get that. But like, when you have someone who has such pop like Soft does, why are Dash and Dawson the champions? You know, it's like right place, right time kind of thing. You know?
Yeah, definitely. What is it? Because like you said, everyone booed it when they came out. I like Soft, so I don't know. Maybe it's just that whole thing of just trying to build character for Enzo and Big Cass. But personally,
they literally use the tag titles to build tag teams, and then they inject Soft into it as well. Like that happened with the Vaudevillains.
It was I don't know, when I saw that entire entrance, like I know very little about Enzo and Big Cass. I know, like I said, I do know them, but like just when they got into it, they were doing their entrance, they had their own personality, and then like I said, the crowd got into it. 10,000 people were singing along with Enzo. It's just like, damn.
I said this while we were watching. I like the fact that Big Cass is a big dude that doesn't have a chokeslam as his finisher, because it seems like damn near every single big dude that comes into WWE does a chokeslam as their finisher, but not Big Cass. I can appreciate that.
Man, he needs to have a powerbomb, to be honest.
I think.
Before you know,
I think Dash and Dawson, they're just like, who are they?
Transitional champions.
Then how come they haven't lost the belt yet?
Well, then they're either no, my bad. They're not transitional champions. They're champions that they're tag team that they're trying to build. Apparently, creative just sees something in them. Same thing with why the Vaudevillains had the title.
I mean, they're decent in the ring. Vaudevillains, in my opinion, I would rather see Vaudevillains versus Soft for the title. I never understood why Dash and Dawson ended up with the title. I think Vaudevillains versus Soft would have been better. At the same time, when I say who are they, when I'm in reference to Dash and Dawson, it's one of those things. It's like, even if you want to slap the titles on someone in an attempt to push them and make them more relevant and whatnot, if Dash and Dawson held the titles for another month and then lost them, if they went off of NXT tomorrow, would you remember them 6 months from now?
Nope.
So why do we have this giant Dash and Dawson push? I don't understand.
They don't
You
even
see
look
the
like
pop,
anything.
you see the hype that Soft gets when they come out to the ring. Okay, maybe don't slap the title on them immediately. Maybe use them, inject them into the match just to give a hype match. But eventually, they need to win the goddamn titles. They're literally the most popular tag team. Well, when it comes to pop from the crowd, maybe they're the most popular tag team. The second most popular tag team, easily, hands down, has to be Chad Gable and Jason Jordan. Hands down. If there's two people that need the tag titles more or just as badly as Soft, it is Chad Gable and Jason Jordan. And I cannot wait for their time to come. I don't know.
About the match though, I mean the match is actually crazy hype. Like for people who I had no idea why they were tag champions, they still put on a pretty good show. I feel like I was just more so invested because of Enzo and Big Cass.
I mean, the match had a lot of dope ass spots in it, to be honest. In and outside the ring, when I don't even know which one it was. The dash where Dawson grabbed Carmella and she elbowed him right in the face, and he threw Big Cass into the ring post. It had a lot of decent spots all the way up into the very. I mean, if anything, right before that, when Soft hit their finisher, and you thought it was over, and then Enzo got yanked out of the ring. It was literally hype all the way up to the very end. And then that final move from Dash and Dawson put it away, and everyone thought Enzo was gonna kick out. You're like, no, he's gotta kick out. It's because everyone, like, again, it's one of those things where it's like, who the fuck are Dash and Dawson? Why are they champions? It was almost one of those things that's like, Saw has to win tonight, but didn't win.
No, and that's unfortunate.
I mean, it's probably just to be like, oh well, hey, we've had so many shots and we've been literally stolen from so many times, and then you're gonna end up winning eventually, and then the crowd will go crazy. It's just the fact that they have so much hype that I'm pretty sure creative is just like, oh well, we could literally throw them into any storyline and get hype. It doesn't even matter. Let's fuck the title, which is kind of lame.
No, but see, if you do that too much,
direction.
you eventually understand that they're not going to do anything. Like, okay, even though they're in the situation, they've been here time and time again. What happens? They lose. They'll begin to lose faith in them. I mean, shoot, that's exactly what happened to Zack Ryder. Now he's back down to NXT.
I don't know. I want to see Soft as champions. I want Chad Gable and Jason Jordan to come through as well. The tag team division in NXT right now really doesn't have much going for it. I mean, yeah, there's the Vaudevillains here and there. There's Blake and Murphy, who's not really doing anything tag-wise, I guess. I guess. I don't know. They're really just packaged with Alexa Bliss right now. So
the tag division is huge too. That's another thing. There's like a billion tag teams. So
there's a lot of tag teams that come and go.
No, but there's the Hype Bros. There's Gable. There's Vaudevillains. There's Dash and Dawson. There's Blake and Murphy. There's Soft. There's probably more too that I haven't seen before.
I think there's a lot of tag teams that come and go, but you're right. There are a lot of tag teams in the tag team division in NXT right now. It's just, of all of them, Dash and Dawson, why? I don't know. To me, it's one of those things where it's like you're throwing a tag team at the wall, but they're not sticking. Just scrap it and move on to somebody else. I don't know. The match itself, though, I did enjoy. I thought it was really, really nice. I thought it was a decent ass match for a lot of spots. How would you rate the match?
3.5. Just because I'm disappointed with the end. Like, it was just one of those times where it was just like, I feel like that really should have been their moment. But, I mean, otherwise, it was a great... You know what? Actually, I'm going to give it a 4. It was a really good match. I'll give it a 4.
Yeah, same thing from me. I'm going to give it a 4. It's a good match, good spots, hype, all of that. Like, it's literally... I liked it. Like, the only thing that was wrong with it was probably the ending, and I just don't agree with the whole Dash and Dawson thing, but that's about it.
I would rate the match a 3 out of 5. It had a lot of good spots. I'm not a huge fan of Dash and Dawson. Dash and Dawson. Which, by the way, Dash is one of their first names, and Dawson is one of the other guy's last name. I thought that was kind of interesting. But I'm not a huge fan of Dash and Dawson. I like both of you. I'm not a huge fan of how it ended up. I really want Soft to have the tag title sometime soon. So, 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
Moving on down the card, we have a match that's actually kind of hype. If I could compare this to TLC 2015, if I could compare this from TLC this past Sunday, this is kind of like the Rusev Ryback match, except
better.
You actually have two hype people involved with it. We have Apollo Crews versus Baron Corbin, and this literally has no story involved in it. This is the stupidest storyline ever. It started back when Apollo Crews had his number one contendership against Finn Balor for the world title, which I really don't understand why that happened either. You know, I'll speak about that in a moment when we talk about the next match. I really don't understand why Apollo Crews got number one contendership for one match that just had interference. It was one of those things that's like, oh, Finn Balor is only defended the title once, just throw someone else in there just to say, oh, NXT title's on the line. Fuck it. And again, that week when it was Apollo Crews versus Finn Balor, I was like, if Apollo Crews loses this, that's going to shit on all the momentum that he has. And Finn Balor can't just lose against his first actual title defense. So what happens? Baron Corbin interferes, and Corbin's whole reasoning is, I don't like you. I don't like where you came from. I don't like this. I don't like that. What? Like, that's literally just it? That's just it? You cost this man the world title shot just because you don't like where he came from? Oh.
It's a bit of a rush storyline just because they want to do Baron Corbin a solid, because like Baron Corbin like backstage is literally like trying to get every little push he can, and I feel like sometimes with Baron Corbin, creative just rushes him a lot because of how much he's pushing to get like a huge thing. And I mean, it's working, but the storylines seem a little bit rushed, especially like what he had with Samoa Joe and then this one as well. But like, I mean, at the same time, he's getting better with crowd psychology, but it's just like, you know, at least take a little bit more time with his storylines and he could be much better.
I agree. I like Baron Corbin. I think he is that big dude, that fucking heel, that actual heel that WWE needs right now. Because you look at Baron Corbin and there's no way that you could ever see him being a face. Maybe in like a couple years, if there's some new big bad guy that comes up. But honestly, you look at Baron Corbin and he fills the role of a heel so perfectly. He's this big dude, he comes in, he hits hard, he doesn't give a shit about what you think or what the crowd has to say. He fucking relishes in the fact that everyone boos him. Who gives a shit? It's Baron fucking Corbin. And I like Apollo Cruz. This little pumped up Kevin Hart looking nigga jumps in the ring and does all kinds of flips and shit, and I love it. I don't know. Like I said, it's Ryback Rusev. It's a match that really has no story behind it, except I loved it. It was hype as shit. I love both of them involved in it. I loved it. It was both people in the match were great. I was waiting for Apollo Crews to gorilla press Baron Corbin, but it didn't happen, of course. He had to Pele kick him or whatever the hell he did in order to get that standing moonsault off, and Corbin kicked out of that. He even kicked out of that. But the dope-ass finisher that is the end of days sealed the way of the match. And I just want to say, I'm so happy that Baron Corbin won. I was afraid that Baron Corbin was going to go the way of Bray Wyatt, where he just keeps talking shit and gets involved in these rivalries and gets his ass handed to him time and time again. And it's like, why do you keep, you can't build a character that you just keep getting shit on over and over and over again. So but I'm actually happy. I'm very, very happy that Baron Corbin won the match. Like I said, I like both of them. I think Apollo Crews definitely deserves more of a push. Baron Corbin definitely deserves to have more of a push as a primary heel on NXT.
I thought the match was great. I mean, I just like watching Apollo Crews. I was actually very sad that he left, but as you said, Baron Corbin, dude, was completely dominant that entire match, even throwing racial slurs. Okay, not racial slurs, but
go back to Ring of Honor.
Yeah, he told Apollo Crews to go back to Ring of Honor. I was like, God damn.
You should have stayed in Ring of Honor. It was crazy. I liked it. I
thought you said you didn't like that Apollo Crews lost, though.
No, I didn't, but the match was still good. I didn't like how Enzo and them lost, but the match was still good. I'm being entertained.
I definitely do like that Baron Corbin is getting better, though. Like, originally, like, when he would come out, he seemed like, oh, well, yeah, that's it. I'm a bad guy. Look at me, I'm a bad guy. And now he's actually, like, doing things and going above and beyond, and it's just like, okay, this is good. And he has his first win I wouldn't say first win in a while, but like a pay-per-view win, and it's just like, okay, all right, I'm starting to get you. I'm starting to get your character, and it's nice that he's dedicated, and that's actually him as well, because like you know, backstage he's always like, I don't give a shit about anybody else. This is my time. I want to get on top. So it's like, I like him. He's a good guy. He's entertaining as fuck, or getting entertaining at least. So that's my opinion.
How would you rate the match, though?
I've been slapping 4s on every match. I mean, I'm gonna give it a 4. I don't know what to say. Like, it was literally a really good goddamn match. Like, I liked it.
What about you, PK?
I'm gonna give it a 3.
Aww.
Wow.
It was still entertaining, but I mean, at the same time, I also found myself like turning away from my TV.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm gonna give the match a 4 out of 5. I thought it was great. I enjoyed both competitors. I think they put on one hell of a show in the ring. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Hats off to both of them. I can't wait to see where either one of them go next. As a matter of fact, WWE retweeted or NXT tweeted out or something. I don't know which was which, but apparently Baron Corbin had some few choice words for Finn Balor. So the next rivalry for the NXT Championship might just be Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin.
It should be Samoa Joe.
What?
That just happened.
It needs to continue.
Well, we'll speak on that here in just a moment.
Yes, you will.
We'll speak on that.
Yes, you will.
Moving on down the card. Up next, we have the definition of a rushed rivalry and a match that did not need to happen just yet. We have the NXT Women's Championship match, Bayley versus Nia Jax.
You okay?
As PK said in the TLC video, I have issues with this match. Me and this match have been involved in a relationship for a while now, and I have issues with this match. So Bayley is defending her women's championship against Nia Jax, and I will say I was skeptical about Nia Jax at first when she first came out. I thought she was going to be very, very gimmicky. You know, I thought she was going to be very, what's a good way to compare it? Like, I didn't feel that way about Umaga. Like, the Boogeyman. You know, it's a very, very gimmicky character. I didn't think she'd end up becoming, like, an actual serious competitor in NXT. But over the coming weeks, she has. And I really, really like Nia Jax. I think she's great. She needs a little bit of work on her finisher. You know, I think a leg drop is very 1988-ish. You know, I think she needs a little more work at being the actual dominant force that they've built her as. But at the same time, I don't think that a women's championship match should have happened this soon. And I really don't understand what's going on in NXT right now either, because with Sasha Banks leaving, Charlotte leaving, Becky Lynch leaving, Bayley is the last of the 4 horsewomen. She hasn't gone just yet, but obviously we know she's going to be called up here soon enough, as it is. So there's really no serious competitor for her, so they just threw a whole bunch of title shots out there. You know, Eva Marie had a title shot, and then Alexa Bliss had a title shot, and now Nia Jax has a title shot. And it's like, okay, but I think Nia Jax should maybe have been put on the bill at the next NXT Takeover event for a title shot, because even though Nia Jax has become this dominant force, whatnot, she's only really wrestled, what, like a half dozen matches?
Yeah, it hasn't been that much. If that.
So she's really just ran through just a small handful of opponents, and all of a sudden she's #1 contender, and it's like, okay.
I mean, it might just be one of those things where it's like she's ran through so many that it's like she's kind of earned it.
No, I understand that, but in the position that it's in, with her still being as fresh as it is, do you think, spoiler alert, with her losing this match, that was the proper decision to make?
No. She should have went over immediately, like instantly. Like, that was just the obvious thing. With all this force behind her, I hate it when WWE does this. You have this person who comes in here, they do so much work, and then all of a sudden they just lose when they trip at the finish line. Like, why don't you allow that person to be established? Like I said this earlier, what should have happened was Nia Jax. Of course, Bayley puts up one hell of a fight, but at the same time, Nia Jax has been a monster. She wins with a very powerful move and a very dominant end. That's how it should have ended. And then Bayley has to go through this whole character metamorphosis to, you know, improve herself to win her belt back. Or she just loses the rematch and goes up to the main roster. It was either one of those two options. Instead, they chose to have Bayley, and this is the worst part, they chose to have Bayley win by submission. Nia Jax's dominant force tapped out. What?
I had a conversation with a few different people on Twitter today, and one of them was talking about how that really humanizes Nia Jax. It brings her back down from that monster-esque theme that's been going on so far, and really brings her back down to the sense that, oh hey, Nia Jax is still a woman. Oh hey, Nia Jax is still this person that can cut a promo and isn't just Kane. You know what I mean? It's not. She's not just this monster that comes out to the ring. I don't know. I can kind of understand that, but at the same time, I don't think. Number one. Let me step back a little bit. I don't think this matchup should have happened this early for Nia Jax. I think that maybe Alexa Bliss or maybe Eve. You know, maybe since Eve was the #1 heel and everyone's talking about her, maybe Bayley should have defended against one of them right now. And again, save Nia Jax for the next TakeOver event or something like that and build Nia Jax up even more. And I definitely, even though I can understand the different sides of it, I still don't think Nia Jax should have tapped out. If anything, I would have rather seen Nia Jax been counted out, or Nia Jax actually just been pinned. To be 100% honest, I would have rather seen that than for Bayley to sit there and hold in this guillotine choke for 5 minutes until Nia Jax actually just taps. I didn't like that. I did not like the ending of the match.
No, it was actually bad.
I think the match, like, before the ending was decent, and then they kept repeating moves, and it was like, it was just it was just like it went from like, oh my god, this is hype, to like, really, you're gonna do this again and again and again.
They did. How many times did she get into that grab from the turnbuckle?
And then that was the ending of the match too, which was like stupid. I think if they wanted to build Nia Jax for an actual women's title shot, she should have went after Blue Pants. She should have went for like maybe like Dana Brooke or Emma, and then after that she goes after Asuka, and then after that then she gets a title shot. But
yeah, because they literally built this rivalry in all of 2 weeks.
Exactly, and it doesn't make any sense.
Title shot. And it's like, what? Okay, I'm happy that Nia Jax is a title shot, but okay. And like what PK was saying, the whole metamorphosis, she kind of already did that against Sasha Banks. You know, she went through this training regimen. She did all the stuff that she needed to do because everyone doubted her. No one thought she could beat Sasha Banks. And finally, she's a fighter. She's been fighting her whole life. She finally won the goddamn title. You know, so that whole metamorphosis, to go through that all over again, I don't know if that would have worked out necessarily. But I don't know. If anything, they could have just ran with the whole fighter thing. You know, she just fought to get her title back. Or I don't know. I'm going in circles here. I don't think this match should have happened this early. And at the same time, I don't think Nia Jax should have lost. But on Bayley's part, in my opinion, I think this is one of the worst matches that I've seen from Bayley. Because Bayley really didn't do shit.
Damn.
To be 100% honest, I'm being honest. You know, how do you go from having match of the year against Sasha Banks to this, where it's just a guillotine choke the entire time?
I mean, maybe that's all they have.
I mean, at the same time, the women's division is like so, I wouldn't say empty, but like besides like
right
besides like Bayley, who is like really the quote unquote contender.
That's why I said Eve. Is her name Torres? Eve Torres, whatever. You know, they rushed that. She came back and immediately had a women's title match. And you know what even pissed me off even more is they actually had some sort of story behind that. You know, how Eve had corporate side behind her. How corporate set it up, and Total Diva sent her all this shit, and she even got Chad Robinson to come down from the main roster to make sure the match was delegated properly. Like, that would have been a hype of shit to do at the actual pay-per-view event. But instead, you just do that in 1 week. We haven't seen Eve since, after she lost. Alexa Bliss, who's been sitting there running her mouth about Bayley for the past 6 weeks, gets a title match. You don't see anything about that afterwards. And now all of a sudden, in 2 weeks, thrown together Nia Jax versus Bayley. And before the match, Nia Jax cuts a promo, and Asuka's sitting there staring at her. So now this whole thing with Bayley versus Nia Jax is just squashed.
Yeah.
Bayley, what is your next thought or opponent? Emma. No, wait, that's been done. That's been done. No, she literally is not ready yet. I don't know. I think this is a period where they're just trying to build the woman that they have right now, and sometimes and like it's just like, okay, well, we have to have a title shot here and there, otherwise what is our women's champion gonna do? So I think this is going to be that little small period for the women's title until they actually get like these quote unquote lower card, I wouldn't say lower card, but like these new women's wrestlers a title shot again, or it's just going to continue to be like this until they're ready. Which sucks, but at the same time, it's like that's just what needs to happen. It's just kind of like empty.
Bayley can wrestle Dana Brooke next.
Does she be wrestling
for the title?
I thought I did.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it was Bayley literally defended against Sasha Banks and Eve, then Alexa Bliss. Yeah, because at the last Takeover event, she defended against, because it was the Iron Man match. She defended against Sasha Banks, then Eve, then whatchamacallit, Alexa Bliss, and now Nia Jax. So I mean, I'd be down for Dana Brooke next.
It'd be different.
So, how would you rate this match?
It was a disappointing, and after a disappointing second half of performance, I'm gonna give it a 2.
Ooh. What?
It was just like it started off okay, but then like as Mo said earlier, the second half was just the same thing. It was a very slow end into a tap out submission by Nia Jax. So much should have happened, shouldn't have happened. That did happen. It just strikes me the wrong way.
What about you, Mo?
I should say this though. I'm also giving it a 2 because like you said, we've seen better from them. So, uphold your standards. Sorry, Mo.
I'm gonna say, honestly, like it wasn't like a 2. Oh, jeez. I mean, like I like the beginning of the match. I think it was like really interesting and all that good stuff. Like it was a good match overall until the end. So I'm just gonna strike 2 points out of 5 for like the ending and the rushness of the storyline. So I'm just gonna give it a straight 3.
I would agree with Mo. I would give it a 3 because I like both wrestlers that are involved. It was for the title as well. Only thing I didn't like about it was, like I said, like the point that I made. I've seen better from Bayley than just to sit there and hold in a submission hold the entire time. You would think that someone who's such a fighter and did everything they could to beat Sasha Banks would do something more than just go for a guillotine choke against Nia Jax. And I love Nia Jax. I don't think it was right that she was thrown into this matchup. And can we just talk about how fucking boss she looked when she came out to the ring? By the way, that was sick as fuck. I don't know. There's just there were pros and there were cons to the match. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5, and I hope that this match happens again, whether Bayley is in it or not. Just whoever the current women's champion is. I hope that Nia Jax gets another title shot 2 or 3 pay-per-views from now, and we actually have a really, really good match and she ends up becoming champion. Because I think no matter what, the future for Nia Jax in NXT is to become women's champion.
On top of that, she is different too. Like she's just way more unique than all the other women's wrestlers. Like all of them are all thin framed and all that. She's here and she's just like, I'm big, but I can do some good ass shit too. I mean, like that.
You know what? She's big and she don't give a shit, and she'll come out there looking like a Christmas ornament, all she motherfucking wants, and I love it. God damn it. I think Nia Jax she is either my second or third favorite women's wrestler in WWE right now. Hands down. Moving on to the final match on the card.
The final.
And your main event. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a match that I called 10 fucking weeks ago. Finn Balor, your NXT champion, defending against Samoa Joe.
Sounds lame.
Where do we begin? With
Finn Balor's entrance?
Has happened with this matchup.
Finn Balor's entrance, it was amazing.
As Jack the Ripper.
It was amazing. This man came out as Jack the Ripper in the UK. I'm like, I see you. I see you with the fan service. You ain't tricking nobody. I see you. I like it though.
I knew this match was bound to happen. The moment they announced his tag team partners, just knowing Joe and everything, I knew this match was bound to happen. And what everyone really wants is Kevin Owens versus Samoa Joe, because that is greatest way to happen. But I just don't know where to start. I don't know where to start.
Well, let's start at the beginning.
Okay, Finn Balor, very similar to Bayley in the sense that since they have become champion, there hasn't been a whole lot of title defenses. You know, Finn Balor won the title from Kevin Owens, defended the title against Kevin Owens, and then defended the title against Apollo Cruz. And that's been that. And now he defends the title against Samoa Joe, so it's one of those things where he hasn't held the title long enough to deserve, quote unquote, deserve losing it. But at the same time, I don't think Samoa Joe should have lost. If that makes sense.
But somebody had to.
Exactly. And I think that when it comes to the grander scheme of things, it's pretty much the exact same situation as Bayley and Nia Jax. Either Finn Balor loses the title and goes onto the main roster, which Finn Balor's already said that he wants to stay in NXT. Of course he wants to go to the main roster, but at this point in time, he enjoys NXT as well. So if Finn Balor would have lost the title, he should have gone up to the main roster. I also think it's kind of insulting that Samoa Joe is still in NXT. Samoa Joe should just go to the main roster. Samoa fucking Joe! It makes me so sad. It makes me so sad. I remember when he debuted, one of his beginning matches, one of the commentators was talking about, and they were listing all of his accomplishments and events. Oh, no. It was the Table for 3 shit. You know, I showed it on the WWE Network, Table for 3. It's actually a dope-ass show. If you guys haven't watched it, that's the show you should give the time to. But it was like an indie circuits event or something like that. And it was Samoa Joe, Bo Dallas, and Dean Ambrose? I think? I don't remember who it was. But they were all talking about the work they put in and whatnot. And Samoa Joe was talking about how he wrestled in California in WWE's developmental territory with John Cena, and then he wrestled in Japan, and then he came back to the US, and then he quote unquote literally went from whatever promotion he's wrestling for in California straight to WWE. And I'm like, you can't just, like, Joe, I understand they're paying you, but come on, give us something more than just completely ignoring it. Say I wrestled independent or something like that. Like the announcer said. That's how I got the two mixed up. The announcer said something like he wrestled independently for the past couple of years. This man just flat out shit all over TNA. And it's like, in the wrestling world, fans know who Joe is. They know who the man is. And it's one of those things where, like, we understand why he's in NXT, but honestly, you could put Joe on the main roster and he would have one hell of a fucking pop. It'd be insane. So I'm off track right now. I know. I just don't know where to begin with this. It splits me down the middle because I want to see both of them do well. I want to see both of them be champion. But
who deserves it right
match
now?
aside, we'll speak about the match in a moment. What I really want to talk about from here on out is where do they go from here? What happens to Finn Balor from here on out? What happens to Samoa Joe from here on out?
I was thinking about that. It's the same thing with Nia Jax. It's like it just kind of ended suddenly. So now it's like, so do we just have someone like walk in and, you know, state their claim, say they have it? Do we have a number one contendership? It was like it's pretty open ended right now. So I couldn't tell you.
It's one of those things again, like how the women's scene is right now. Is just like there's all these like quote unquote like lower, I wouldn't say lower card or lower end. I mean, it's just that these new superstars, Baron Corbin, and I wouldn't say Baron Corbin's new, but Apollo Crews, Baron Corbin, they're like there, but I wouldn't necessarily say they're like, oh yeah, I'm the next NXT champion right away. So it's like they're in that transitional period where they're just building these superstars, and their biggest superstar right now is Finn Balor in terms of like the NXT Championship. So they're in that transitional period where it's like we have to build these superstars little by little, and we have to give title shots at the same time. So it's like we have to give hype to this guy, but at the same time we also need to give hype to everyone else. So as small as middle as kind of transitional as this is, it needs to happen. It's at that little phase, and then like I think in the next couple months, the NXT title division or the NXT Championship will definitely have more hype in it. But for now, it's like, oh, we're just gonna put the two biggest wrestlers in the company right now, or in NXT right now together, and that's it. And that's how it's gonna be for a little bit, which is, it kind of sucks, but it has to happen because of like how NXT has gotten rid of I wouldn't say how a lot of their bigger superstars are now on the main roster, such as Neville, such as Bo Dallas, such as Kevin Owens, and on top of that, Sami Zayn got injured, and then Hideo Itami got injured. So it's like, we have to kind of do it. Do
you think with Sami Zayn coming back, he'll be in the title scene?
I definitely think so. I definitely think with like that's a really good thing that he's coming back, and I feel like either Balor's gonna turn heel or something like that. I think that would be a great thing to have.
He's gonna do double face.
No, I can see Finn Balor.
I feel like
heel.
Balor's been turning heel lately. Like he's had this.
Do you think Balor's the heel in the situation against Joe?
No, I'm not saying. I'm still saying that he's still a face, but he's definitely becoming more and more heel. If you see like all the stuff that he's been doing on NXT lately, like he's like wearing that jacket. He's got this little biker thing going, whatever the hell, a Balor Club thing going on, and on top of that, like, you know, Apollo Crews, like he did this little promo, or what is it, like a little segment in the back with Apollo Crews, and Apollo Crews is like, you know, you've been ignoring my calls and all that, blah blah blah. It's like he's kind of like turning heel in a way, and with Sami Zayn to come back into the picture and with the pop he'll get, I think it'd be a perfect time to turn him heel. I mean, he's worked heel before, so I feel like he'll do a good job again. So I think that'll be a great way to have this little build-up phase for Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews, and on top of that, have hype in the division. So yeah, I think that'll be the next program they'll run.
I think they'll run Baron Corbin versus Finn Balor next. I don't think they're necessarily turning Balor heel. I think they might have tendencies, and I think the whole jacket thing is just so that they have something other than just him walking out by himself, as opposed to the demon get up. I think that if they do run a program with Sami Zayn, it'll be two faces, like John Cena and Shawn Michaels. I think it'll be two-face kind of thing, or even it'll be one of those things where maybe Balor has that little bit of heel in him, kind of like how John Cena Batista was. Like Batista was kind of that heel. You know, it's one of those things where it's like they're both faces, but the one heel has a problem with the other. So they're kind of sort of considered the heel. That makes sense?
Yeah. He would be the more heel of the face. It's like Undertaker Lesnar. Undertaker's the heel, but it's like he still gets cheered, so fuck it.
I don't know. PK put it the best way earlier when we were watching it. After it finished, when it came down to the matchup tonight, one of the two titles had to change. Either the women's title or the NXT World title. One of those two needed to change, and neither happened. And I think that that's the biggest upset of the night. And it's one of those things where I'm torn on the decision each way. Whether I wanted to see Joe win, or whether I wanted to see Balor win, whether I wanted to see Nia Jax win, or whether I wanted to see Bayley win. They're all wrestlers that I like, so I'm really torn either way. So I don't know.
Nia should have won. IMO.
When it comes to the match itself, though, I did say we'd speak on that. The match had a ton of good spots. Both of them went through the ropes, over the ropes, out onto the ramp.
Joe had the best spot when he dived through the middle of the ropes and just tackled Balor down the ramp. I'm like, yo.
That's what I'm saying. They both went through there. At the beginning of the match, when Balor went through the coup de grace to Joe on the steel steps, like, god damn. He did land the coup de grace on Joe as he was standing straight to the small of the back. He did the standing coup de grace too, in the middle of the fucking ring, the standing coup de grace. And of course we can't leave out, with all the good spots, we can't leave out the failed Pele kick in the middle of the ring when he tried to hit him.
He like slapped him in the face.
His hand was the only thing that hit him, and I'm like, okay, you need to raise your foot a little bit higher there, Finn. Joe, when he tried to go for that super muscle buster off the top, I was like, hold on, you are going to kill Finn Balor. You can't do that. Like, you just can't do that.
Yo, he did the Tyson Kidd. Where he at?
PK.
What?
That's not right.
He's injured. It's from the muscle buster.
That's not right.
I'm actually surprised WWE didn't ban the move after that. I'm not trying to make an insult. Tyson Kidd was amazing, especially when he was tag champion with Cesaro. It's unfortunate that it happened. But I'm not trying to make a joke. That's what it is. It's a brutal move.
Finally,
I wouldn't want to take it.
Finally, a coup de grace, a regular coup de grace, ended up putting Joe away. And shout out to Joe for locking in that, what's the name of that hold that he does?
Crypto crossface.
The coquina clutch, and pulled Balor over the top of the ropes. I was like, damn, okay, holy shit. They still had a lot of good spots in the matchup, but again, it's a very, very torn ultimate decision on what should have happened versus what happened. So I don't know. I'm still torn. But how would you rate the match?
I'll give it a 3.5.
Whoa, 3.5. Wow, I actually really liked it. It was honestly, to me, it was one of the best matches on the card. Like, definitely with the spots. There was a little botch, like that one botch Pele kick, and I think the little storyline was kind of wonky. This is like the whole this is the theme of NXT. This NXT right now is just everything is just kind of like, oh yeah, rush storyline. So I'm gonna give it, once again, I mean it was the best match on the card, so 4.5.
Damn, Mo.
I was gonna give it a 3.5.
What?
I wanted to give it a 4. I still really want to give it a 4, but I'm so torn on the outcome. It's just because I like both wrestlers. I'm very, very torn on it, so I'm not even sure. I would say either 3.5 or 4. The match itself had a ton of great spots in it. I honestly want to see a rematch. I know that they might be building a Baron Corbin, Finn Balor run after this, but I really, really, really want to see a rematch between the two of them. Maybe with a match stipulation of some sorts or something. I'm just torn. I'm very, very torn on it. Like PK said, either Nia Jax should have won or Samoa Joe should have won. One of the two should have won. One of those two titles should have changed hands tonight. So I'm very, very torn on both matches. I don't know. Either 3.5 or 4. Hate me for it. I don't know.
I'm just very generous.
How would we rate the Takeover pay-per-view as a whole?
I'll give it a 4. I mean, each match was at least solid. Even the Ryback Rusev, I hate that we're using that reference, but the Ryback Rusev one even was entertaining. The entire thing was hype. Not to mention, shout out to the crowd and at NXT Takeover, like they were just doing so much, keeping it hype, even when things weren't that hype. Like on the match, it was just active. It was exciting. So I'm gonna give it a 4.
Same for me. It was a 4. Definitely, I think the only thing that they could have done is definitely the little title exchanges, and definitely work on that women's division and the storylines right now. That's my only complaint is, like, once again, it just seemed rushed. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna give it a 4.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5 total.
I think that's a fair.
Out of 5.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just it was good. I was kind of shocked with how few matches there were. There was only 5 matches on the card total. But I think when it comes down to pros versus cons, it was a little more even than what I would have liked. So I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5. Now my final question: was it better than TLC?
Oh damn.
Because there are a lot of people who are saying that TLC was the best pay-per-view that WWE put on this year.
No.
If I want to judge by storyline purposes, what happened here?
Just everything as a whole.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like if I say from storyline purposes between TLC and NXT Takeover, what happened at NXT Takeover doesn't make me want to tune into NXT next week. After TLC was done, I couldn't wait to see what's happening on Raw the next day. So I think I'm gonna have to say TLC.
I think that NXT was better, because I'm looking at it in like the whole standpoint. I mean, it was rushed, like I said, but the wrestling, like overall, was so much better. And on top of that, there were some sloppy matches on the TLC card I didn't like. So I definitely think that NXT was better. Obviously, the TLC storyline purposes, it literally works so well for Monday Night Raw. But I think people are saying that TLC is so good because the Monday Night Raw after was literally perfect. So I'm gonna say NXT was better.
Liar.
What? It's an opinion. You can't lie about an opinion.
Yeah, you can't. Your opinion's wrong.
I'm gonna say TLC was better. Only because NXT TakeOver London had so much hype going into it, and in my opinion, it didn't deliver. I'm not saying it was a bad event. I'm not saying that by any means. I'm really not. I enjoyed it and everything, but just when you stand back and look at what the ultimate outcome of both shows was, I think TLC ended up being better. You know, when you look at the Salida del Sol off the top of the ladder, well, you know, that triple threat ladder match, when you look at the Dudleys and the elimination table match and the Raw that came after that, You know, when you look at the TLC match that was the main event, you know, there was hype going into it. When you looked at those matches, they were hype. They also delivered. But then when you look at these matches, you know, Bayley versus Nia Jax, it sounds hype as shit, but the match that we actually got wasn't all that, you know.
Best match was probably Asuka. That was exciting.
Monday Night Raw December 14th was better than both.
True.
Anyways. With that, you guys, let us know what you guys thought of NXT TakeOver London in the comments section below.
And remember, if you disagree, your opinion is wrong.
And make sure you check out Mo and PK's channels and Twitter accounts, both of which are linked in the description. But with that, we're going to get about. We will see you guys next time, which I'm guessing won't be until the Royal Rumble. 6 weeks from now. We won't be doing another review until then. So with that, we're going to get about. If you enjoyed, make sure you smash the like button down below for us. But we bid you adieu.
And remember, if you don't check out me and Mo's Twitter and YouTube, your opinion is wrong.
Don't do drugs.